Yo, welcome back to another episode of Shane's Take. I'm your host, Shane Norman, and today we're going to be going over the top 7 QBs that I'm projecting being ahead of the AFC in the 2023-2024 season. Now, we're going to start from 1 and work our way down to 7 because I think 1 is pretty obvious. So we'll start there. So at number 1, I got Patrick Mahomes. And the reason for that is because he's one of those quarterbacks where I can't really look at the wide receiving core and assume what he will and will not do in a season. He's been able to do it with different combinations of receivers. As long as he has Travis Kelce controlling the middle of the field, he's been able to get the job done. I mean, 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, that's crazy. Hell of a season he had last year. But, yeah, I think Patrick Mahomes follows it up. I don't think that there's any fall off there. Not only that, who knows who they add as far as an addition. You know, free agency isn't over. But I got Patrick Mahomes at number 1 for obvious reasons. It's not really too much to look at there. I think as long as they've got their system and they got their formula and how they do things over there, and as long as Travis Kelce is wearing a Chiefs jersey, man, I haven't seen anybody stop him. So at number 2, I have Lamar Jackson. And the reason why I have Lamar Jackson at number 2 is because we've seen him win the MVP. We've seen him have a great year passing the ball. We've seen him have great years passing the ball. We've seen how he dominates the ground game. We also see that the Ravens run a lot of RPO. My question is like, when you run the RPO, if you're the Ravens, are teams actually respecting the pass option in the RPO? Not really. You have to with OBJ and Zay Flowers. That's a lot of speed. That's a lot of explosiveness. Great route running. Great hands. I think it's just weapons that Lamar Jackson never had, especially with J.K. Dobbins in the backfield, healthy. He hasn't even had a healthy running back rotation over these past few years. So I think that he reestablishes himself as one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And so I have him at number 2. But at number 3, we're going to stay in the same division. I think Joe Burrow, and when I talk about the slightest of margins, man, I think Joe Burrow is going to have a fantastic season. Excuse me, but it's going to be a little more on his plate with the loss of Jesse Bates and Von Bell on defense. And I don't know what's going on with their running back room. I have no idea. I don't even like to get into stuff like that, but it's a lot of speculation there too. But I think with T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Hayden Hurst is no longer there. So things can get interesting in Cincinnati, but I still think Joe Burrow is one of the premium quarterbacks in the AFC, and I think that he'll definitely be atop this list. He'll probably be at the top of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league, period. But I think with some of the losses that he's had on his team, I think he's going to feel that, and I think a little more is going to fall on his shoulders. So that's why he falls at number 3 for me. Now at number 4, and this might shock some people, especially considering some of the quarterbacks I'm putting this guy over, and he hasn't done nothing in the league, really. But but Justin Herbert. I have Justin Herbert at my number 4 spot, and that is simply because his team is too damn good for him not to be one of the top QBs in the AFC. Yeah, his team is better than probably everybody on this list if you look at it on paper. It's really no reason why they should lose games. The reason why I've seen the Chargers lose is because of injuries. They have not been able to shake the injury bug. But I think even Justin Herbert himself, he had fractured ribs last year. But I think that he's got the arms. He's got everything you could possibly. He's like a Madden player. Like he's like a Madden character. If you were looking to get a dream quarterback, I mean, from the arm talent to the mobility, he's a stud, and he's got it all around him. Just can it be put together? I think this is the season it all gets put together, barring injury. But that's my number 4 QB in the AFC. And like I said, the only reason why I put him over the QBs that I'm about to mention is because I believe the teams are better. Simply. It's that simple. And I think, in my opinion, quarterback is a position where it is affected by every other position on the field. You need every other position to do their job in order for you to maximize yours. But anyways, so at number 5, I have, and this is tough for me. It's tough for me because I'm going to have to give the edge to Josh Allen. Simply because he has Stephon Diggs. Simply because that's one of the guys he's throwing to. And Gabe Davis is a stud. You still got Dawson Knox over there. You went and drafted a tight end. But yeah, I think Josh Allen will fall at number 5 on this list. I think he'll follow up this season with slightly similar numbers. But yeah, I think that's the difference between him and Aaron Rodgers, honestly, for me on this list, is the fact that he has Stephon Diggs. Now, I see that Stephon Diggs has been disgruntled and they've had issues, but I'm sure that they'll work it out and they'll fix it, Not only that, it really doesn't matter. They've extended him so in April of last year, so he's stuck whether he likes it or not. So I think that they're going to continue to have great success over there, and I think Stephon Diggs is the only reason why I put Josh Allen over Aaron Rodgers. Hopefully Josh Allen's decision making improves this season, but that's where I have him. I have him at number 5 on this list as far as where I'm projecting them to fall amongst each other. Now at number 6, I have Aaron Rodgers, and I put him there because, yeah, you have Garrett Wilson. The Jets defense is stout, but the offensive line is suspect. You have a running back coming back off of an ACL tear. Your best receiver is Garrett Wilson. And you basically have the same wide receiving core as you did in Green Bay without Devontae Adams. So I just don't see much of a difference between him staying in Green Bay and him being with the Jets. I mean, bigger market. But outside of that, I really just don't. I don't see where people are just projecting that team to even be just Super Bowl contenders. It's crazy to me, but still has a great season. I mean, Aaron Rodgers had a down season. He threw 26 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Still a good season. But on to the last and final player on this list. I have at number 7. And I struggle with this one between Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson. And the reason why I struggle with it is because if you look at the numbers last year, it's really something you can't go off. So I was looking at what they did in the past, also looking at where their teams are right now. And I just don't see where Denver made Russell Wilson more comfortable throwing the ball. I just don't see what they did as far as acquiring wide receiver talent in the draft or anything like that. Maybe it's something I missed. I could be completely wrong. But I have Deshaun Watson top, finishing off the list just with the addition of Elijah Moore, who came from New York, who honestly I thought that was a piece I wouldn't have wanted to let go. But They have Elijah Moore. They have Amari Cooper. They have Donovan Peoples-Jones. They have a stout defense that's gotten better. And they still have Nick Chubb. And I think Deshaun Watson, once he gets his feet back under him and get the mechanics right, because you could see last year that he was missing on simple stuff, which I could see being corrected. You spend that long away from football, it could happen, especially as a quarterback when every little mechanic, everything you do matters. So I think that this is a year where they will be able to. And when I say they, I mean the Browns. They'll be able to put it all together and get Deshaun Watson acclimated with the offense. And I think we'll see a tremendous jump from last year, hopefully. I mean, 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions in 6 games is not very good football. But that's where... and then I guess in my honorable mentions, I got Jimmy Garoppolo and Russell Wilson. I honestly think Russell Wilson will have a comeback season. I wonder who on this list will disappoint and not have the season that I anticipated them having. Very intrigued by it, because a lot of these teams, like I named 3 quarterbacks in one division. Somebody in that division isn't going to have a good year. So I'm interested to see. It's going to be an exciting year of football, guys. But thank you for tapping in to Shane's Take, man. I'm your host, Shane Norman, and I'm out. Peace.